Hiya, this is my social media reflective vlog for the group project. So in the group is obviously myself, Luke, Matt, Robert and Dylan, and when we got into a group we pretty much knew straight away that we wanted it to be based around films because we all have an interest in that subject. And the initial idea was to have it be generated from the IMDb top 250 list, and then we'd review it. But we did decide against that because we thought it'd be more interesting to bring films that we like or want other people to watch. And then we've all contributed to the project. So we each picked two films, and the only rule was mainly it had to be from different directors. And then we'd watch them over the course of 10 weeks and then review them. And the biggest thing that we wanted it to be is we wanted the viewing process to not just be us sitting there passively watching the film. We wanted it to be more like a theme, so like an Oscar or Eurovision party. Something Luke mentioned was Secret Cinema, which is quite interesting when you sort of research it online. And so we'd obviously have like decorations up, we'd maybe dress up or have some refreshments or all of it. So say if it was like Fight Club, the refreshments would be like pink lemonade, just generally something referencing the sort of pink soap from the film. And then we also wanted to bring a guest in, possibly using social media or someone from our course. And then, because then they bring sort of an unbiased opinion, because obviously we're all connected to the project, so we're going to think we've done amazing. And then they could tell us how we did with the event, and then maybe give their own review of the film. And then we'd talk about on the podcast. I think we'd maybe try and get them on the podcast, but if not, we'd just sort of quote them and tell them what they said. And for the podcast, we wanted to use one of the syndicate rooms in the library and get some equipment from AV Loans, like some cameras, some microphones. And on a weekly basis, that could be a challenge, especially with uni sleep schedules and balancing it with other coursework. But I think doing that is better because it's a bit more professional, and we obviously all want to get into media in the future. That's why we're spending so much money on uni. And obviously podcasts are growing in popularity recently because I think audiences like it because it's more like a conversation and you have a lot of different opinions which you don't really get if it's just one person talking to a camera. And I think that's what we wanted the podcast to sort of be. We wanted it not to be a debate, we wanted it to more be just us hanging out and talking about the film. And something that was brought up is maybe playing some like movie trivia games or keyword countdown where you grab some quotes from a film and then sort of you have to guess what film they're from. And I think that is quite interesting. And the areas that we did want to look at on the podcast was sort of narrative, performance, stuff like that. And I think that could be quite interesting because obviously with our course this year it's a bit more technical, so looking more at like media products and analysing them a bit deeply could be quite interesting. And obviously if it's interesting then the content we produce is going to be better. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing it, and this has been my social media reflective vlog. Thanks for listening.